Traders in the building, what is good? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the channel. You know exactly what time it is. So in this particular video, I'll be analyzing EURUSD, GBPUSD, USDJPY, and GBPJPY. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be a very interesting one. So in this particular instrument, EURUSD, I'm currently bullish, and the reason why I'm bullish on this particular instrument is because the market is broken out of this channel over here, which was a bearish channel. You notice how the market, anytime it reached the high over there, it rejected, reached the high, reject again. We did get a breakout, but then the market ended up coming below again. But at the moment, again, we are above that structure, so I do expect the market to treat this as a supporting area where it could potentially start to buy from. Another reason why I'm bullish on this particular instrument is because at the moment the market is trading above this area over here, which is a significant zone of support. You notice how this market, anytime it reaches this support over here, it likes to buy. Though it didn't reach necessarily here, again it reacted around that structure. Then the market eventually gave a breakout but could not sustain itself below this area over here to continue going down, and instead it started to break again above the structure, which can prove that this area is now again an area of support which we should look for buys from. So again, this is where again I'm looking for buys, and this is why on this particular instrument at the moment I am bullish. So how you can trade this market is you need to go to a smaller time frame. Let's go to the daily time frame, and over there we want to identify areas of interest that we could potentially buy from. So looking on the daily time frame, you can clearly see that there is another resisting trend line over, of course. So this is the first touch over here, second touch, third touch, and a fourth touch. So this would look like a fifth touch because we are exactly on that trend line. So it's important that we don't underlook this one. It is important that we should pay attention to that trend line over there to see where potentially we could start buying from. So now what we can do for the week that is coming is we need to wait for as long as the market is below the trend line. For us to look for buyers, we need to wait, because what if the market could reject from that trend line? So now my advice for you for the week that is coming, wait for the market to maybe push a little bit higher, and then we identify this as an area which was a resistance, and should the market come back for a retest, we are interested to buy from that support over there. Or should the market respect that trend line over there, respect that trend line and come back down, we identify this as an area of interest where we could potentially again start to buy from, with hopes that it is eventually going to break above that trend line. And if it does break above the trend line, again it's a retest over here and a continuation, retest over here and a continuation. Really, that's all I'm looking for in this particular instrument. There's nothing more, there's nothing less. Moving on to GBPUSD, let's go to the higher time frame. So GBPUSD, I'm also bullish on this particular instrument. So the reason why I'm bullish, similar to EURUSD, we are trading above this area of significance over here. So this was a resistance, it reached the high again, it respected, reach again, respected, reach again, respected, and then again now as you can tell we are above that area over there. So this is why I'm looking for buys on this particular instrument. Another reason is at the moment the market is trading above this particular area of interest, which is a support. Anytime the market reaches this support, it buys. Did break below, could not sustain itself below this structure, and again at the moment as you can see it's again went up above that structure over there. So this is why I'm looking for buyers on this particular instrument. So how you can trade it is you need to move to a smaller time frame again. Let's go to the daily time frame, and again from there we identify areas of interest that we could potentially buy from. So now looking at this, let me do like this. I do identify a zone. Let me rather highlight it. I do identify this as a zone. It would depend on you how you want to adjust it, but it does convince me, because I mean if you drag it all the way to the left, it also does make sense. You notice how it was a resistance, became a support, became a resistance, and again we are back to that area over there. So now because we are looking for buys, does it mean we should be buying exactly where the market is? No, it wouldn't make sense to buy over there, because it means that the market is at a resistance. So the area that you could start buying from is you need to wait to see if the market breaks above this area over here, and if it does break that resistance, then it means this turns into a support, we start to buy from there. And if it breaks again above here, resistance, we start to buy from there. Or the market could treat this as a resistance, of course, as it is, and maybe start to give us a retracement. And if it does give us a retracement, it would be nice to look at these lows over here as an area that the market could retrace back to before we can start to take those positions for buys. Really, that's all I'm looking for. I mean, if you go to a smaller time frame, you will identify that there was an area, or rather areas, which I advised for you to look into last week, which of course made sense, right? I mean, look at how when the market broke above this trend line, it gave this resistance, it gave a retest, and then it was a beautiful entry for a buy. So maybe again you could look at it this way. If the market respects this high and comes back here, maybe you can start looking for buys, and if then the market breaks these buys and then maybe it's short-term sells back to here, and then again you start to look for buys. But I don't advise you guys to do that. If you want to follow structure, follow it on the higher time frame. So do focus only on this high and on this high. So we buy above the structure or we buy back on this structure over here. So that's all I'm looking for in this particular instrument. There's nothing more, there's nothing less. Moving on, USDJPY. Let's go to the higher time frame. So on this particular instrument, on the higher time frame, I'm bullish. However, on the smaller time frame, there's a lot going on, and I'm going to explain in a short while. So as you can see, the market is moving higher. Don't need to explain that. It keeps making higher lows and higher highs, and this is the higher high at the moment that we have. So after a higher high, of course, the market should give us a higher low. So this is what I'm expecting. Potentially the market could give us a retracement. As it is high, it cannot just continue going higher, right? So now if you go to the smaller time frame, the daily time frame, bullish on the higher time frame, it doesn't seem so convincing on this particular structure over here. Rather, let's move on to the 4-hour time frame. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. So on this particular time frame, you can clearly see that there is an area of significance, which is this zone over here. So the market bought from here, as you can see, and when it was below the structure, it sold and came back to this area over here. Last week broke out and then somehow came back below the structure. So again, we are below that structure over here. So anything could happen really. For my expectations on this one is that the market is going to respect this area and give us a retracement, potentially back to this support, and then this is where we can start to look for buys. Or the market could, if it does end up breaking above this particular structure over here, if it does end up breaking above it, then it's a good area, or rather it's a good sign that the market is trying to go up, and then it would make sense for us to look for buys above this area over here. So that's all I'm looking for in this particular instrument. There's nothing more, there's nothing less. Moving on to GBPJPY, and I'm closing with this one. Let's go to the higher time frame. Let's do like this. So on the higher time frame, the market is kind of ranging, right? Or rather, it is ranging. It is in a range, right? But this range on a smaller time frame, it will look like those trend lines that you trade. I mean, this would look like an uptrend, a downtrend, and this an uptrend. And this again, if the market could come down on a smaller time frame, this would be a downtrend, right? So now at the moment, the market is at a high, right? So you notice how when the market was above here, it bought, and when the market was below here, it sold. So now that we are below again that structure over there, I mean, it makes sense for us to expect the market to start selling, right? But of course, the market is not just going to start selling just because it has reached the high of the market. It could do many things around that structure over here. We could get fake outs, we could get manipulate. A lot of things could happen before we can get that retracement. However, I'm not expecting the market to do that just as of yet, because on a smaller time frame, we do have an uptrend. Let's go there. On a smaller time frame, we do have this particular trend that is formed. So you can clearly see that this over here, the market first touch, second touch, third touch, fourth touch, and a fifth touch. So anytime the market reached the low of the trend line, it bought, and again recently we bought from there. So now these are my two areas of interest, this high over here and this low over here. So now what I'm looking for is for me to start buying this market to then confirm that the market is broken above that higher time frame resistance. I would need to see the market coming to break this high over here. If it does break that high, for me to confirm that the market is bullish, then potentially it's going to continue going higher, right? If it does that. However, I don't really see it happening, but if it does happen, then it's good that it would happen. Or what if then the market respects this high over here, which then treat it as a double top, right? If it respects it, then it's nice, it can come back down. But for me, I would advise you that you wait for the market to break the neckline. If it does break the structure over here, then this is an area where we can start to sell from, because then it would mean the market has respected this high zone over here, and then it means the market potentially is coming down. That's all I'm looking for in this particular instrument. There's nothing more, there's nothing less. Thank you for watching up to this far, guys. I love you. I'll see you next week, same time, same place, and I am out.